Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to episode 3 of the Lavender Book. Today, I'm going to show you how to go from this to, let me just open up, to this. Excuse me. It's really quite simple when you think about it, but I'd like to show you my process anyway so that you know where I'm going when I'm off camera, because I'm going to do a couple of these with you, then I'm going to go off and do a lot more, and then put some in the book. I've already got this one and another one here. So, and I'm using text blocks from wherever I can find them. So, yep, that's what I'm up to. And this is what I hope the whole book is going to look like, something like these 2 pages. Nice and easy, nice and flat, and very easy to use. Okay, so let's close the little book. And I'll leave that there to remind me where I am. So we have got doilies. Now there could be 2 or 3 here. When you buy a pack of doilies, they are normally fairly well stuck together straight from their cutting process. What I do is cut a little bit further on, and I take away all the prettiness on the outside. I could leave it there, but I like the idea of using coloured lace, and I really don't want to change the white flowers to any other colour just at the moment. I've got my heart set on using my own paper lace on the other edge, and that's the way I want to go this time round. Mind you, I'm going to have lots of this left over, so I can turn it into frames if I want for scrapbooking, or on another front of a journal, or inside another journal. There's countless possibilities that you can do with little pieces of stuff that you cut off from other things. Right, and from here, that's a little bit bulbous. That needs to come off a little bit more. Okay, so that's what I have left over. So that's going to go back into my packet with the completed doilies, and I will use that later on. Just out of curiosity, there's 1, 2. Is there a third? No, there's just 2. That's fine. But that goes aside. Now this, I use my little guillotine. Excuse me. And I line up in between the peaks and slice down. So I am left with these 2 little pieces. Now you can see where I'm going. I'm sure you can see where I'm going. Now we divide this pair up so that I'm only working on 1 at a time. Now bring in a piece of paper. You can see, I'm going to leave it on this side, because what I want to do is use this as a backing piece of paper somewhere in this journal, but it will depend upon the colours, and so far it's black, brown and lavender. Okay, my little colour box blender. Now I just go over the edge fairly deeply in colour. The first one I didn't like all of the white that was in the background. So I thought, well, how can I make this still stand out as an edge and make the interior different? So it's just a fine little process. You don't have to go crazy with it. You can make it as deep or as pale as you like. Now I have enough ink. I'm going to just tap it once across the whole surface of that. Turn this around, and then I'm just going to just gently glide over the interior of that little piece of napkin, not napkin, doily. A little bit of the edge is a bit, that's better. So that's how you can pick up the little pattern of the doily and change the colour of that little piece there. So I'll do one more. They both want to come up. Now I've got into the routine of starting with the straighter edge. Don't ask me why. I just do. Or I could start with a curly edge. I don't know. I normally do the curly edge and then the straight edge. It doesn't matter. Whatever makes you happy to get a lovely rich colour on the outside so that your centre, can be a little lighter in colour in the background, because you're going to have a sticker on the front. Now you see I've just gone over the areas where the little dots are more prominent. Now, is this the right side? Yes, it is. They just don't look as prominent as that one there. Maybe I pressed a little too hard. Maybe it's the way the doily is made. Now, don't press down very hard in the centre white place if you're going to copy this, and I don't mind if you do. Just enough to cover the surface and the uprisen pieces. And there you go. Now I'm going to pop that back on and turn it over so that the ink can go down to the surface. I'll put this out of the way because I can do those later. I have done a few. Okay, these are what I'm going to be working on right now. Where can I put my little book where it's safe? Up here. And I say safe because I could knock it, I could send it flying, I could do anything because I'm a little bit of a clumsy person. Now I'm putting a little piece of thin tape along the edge. And I specify thin tape because we don't want this to become too bulky. Now here's where a production line comes in very handy. If you do the same step 2 or 3 times, it's going to make the process a lot quicker because you won't be swapping and changing tools. Whoops. It's a little bit crooked, but it's not going to matter because you're not going to see that little piece. And I'll just do one more. And I'll put those others aside. Right, so now I have that. And I then need to, that's a little topper, put one of these along it. Now I've cut into strips approximately the same size as my 1/2 inch or 2 centimetre, no, 1.5. This narrow tape anyway, hang on, here it is over here. 1/2 inch or 1 centimetre, that's it. Now what I do is take the backing from here tape this backing off. And I put the double-sided tape up so that I've got colour underneath that's going to go onto this little piece here. So the thin double-sided tape takes up just that fraction there. You can just see that line. So you've got this little piece here. Let's do that again. What I do is take the backing off and then line up the edge of the wider piece along this edge of the thin tape. And press down. I'll take that off square. This one is a little bit crooked, so I'll just straighten that up and pop that over there with the other one. I'll just put that aside because I'm not going to do 4, I'll do 3. Take the cover off. Put this on. Press it down and trim it off. Okay, so there we have 3 little pieces and a tiny little bit left over, which I'm going to put aside so that I can use it as maybe a little piece of washi tape later on. So I've got those. Now the next step is to put a sticker on. Now I've got these beautiful I think they're Edwardian ladies that I'm going to be using. Oh, that wasn't good. I'll hold her up that way. So I'm going to use these 3 ladies on these 3 little pieces. Now, in case you're wondering where I got these from, these were part of my last Temu order. Okay, so let's put these on. Now, I would like the ladies to be facing with their little faces towards here. So let's see how I can do it. Let's just do it. Okay, quick stick out. She's going to fit on there with her surround as well. I know there's a trick to this, but I haven't learned it yet. There we go. There's one. Now, little lady, you're facing out, so you go that way. Bone folder. The texture from the napkin comes through the sticker as I'm pushing it through, pushing it down. What is it called? Come on, somebody think, somebody tell me. Burnishing, that's the word I'm looking for. It just adds a little bit of texture to the sticker that I'm not against. Okay, and there she is, looking absolutely gorgeous. Right, let's do another one. This is definitely production line time, ladies. Aren't you turning out that way? She is just going to fit on there, okay. Oh, lift it up straight away. Look at me go. Yay for me. Get it right sometimes. And it's those times, the sometimes it goes right, you feel like rejoicing. Okay, burnish it down. go around the edges fairly consistently because I need them all to stick down and not lift. Because sometimes if you don't burnish stickers, they have a habit of raising up again, and it's really frustrating. You think, did I do that right? Maybe I didn't. Okay, and there is number 2. Okay, and number 3. Now you're going to face that border. I don't want you to do that, so I'm going to turn you around that way. And there. These little stickers are just so precious. I do love them. I don't buy stickers unless I really, really do love them. And then when I use them all, I regret it because, oh, I want them now. But when you haven't got them, you look for something else. Okay, she's all burnished down. Get rid of these little scraps before they can get in the way and annoy me. Okay, so now we have another process to do. Another part of the process. We need to put some lace on it. Now, there are 2 ways you can put lace on these. You can use the fabric lace, which requires drying time, or you can use the paper lace, and I've just freshly cut this lot. I don't know if it's going to go or not. It should do. Yes, it will. So this is what I'm going to use instead of using the fabric lace, because I've already shown you one with the fabric lace and I've shown you one with the paper lace, but yeah. Ruth, stop. Stop, stop, stop. Okay, now I take the backing tape off. And I put it to one side, keeping that face up. Now I'll show you why in a moment. Now the pattern has to go down, and I want to line it up with the bottom hanging out. Before I do that, no, I'll do it afterwards. Need just a little bit stuck to the double-sided tape. Now, the reason I put the tape down the way it came off is because I'm going to put it back on until I get it in place, or until I find the place I want to put it into the journal or notebook. Now I'm going to cut this piece off. Okay, and there we have it. So let's do another one. Turn you over. Take the backing tape off. Put it down the same way. And I'll use this one for this time. Now I'm just going to try and stick just the bottom rings so that you've got 9/10 of the little flower showing, and then you can put the glitter glue in and make it look gorgeous on the page if you want to. Otherwise you could put little pearls in there, but I'm trying to keep it as smooth and as flat as possible. Okay, there's the second one done. Now the third one. Now once again, I'm just going to try and stick this down on the very edge. this off. And I need to just trim this little piece off here as well. It's just a smidge, a sliver. Okay, so there we have 3 of those ready to go into the little book. So let's bring that back in. But before I put these in the book, I would like to just colour over here a little bit so that if it does peek off the side of the page, it can be seen as a nice colour. The same way I did the interior of the doily is how I'm doing this. Just very carefully swiping over the back of the lace. So if it does peep out and have a look and say hello to the outside world, you're not going to get stark white. Because there's not a lot of space on the outside of the pages for the entire row of lace to show. So it'll just be the edges, and I'd like it to look prettier than just stark white. I don't know if I did that with the... Oh, yes, I did. Cool. Sorry, I just had to check the book for a minute. This little part gets a little bit fiddly if you're working with the more open lace cuts. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now let's put a couple of these in place. Now, let me see. The ladies are looking into the book, that's right. So I can put her down the bottom if I wish, or up the top or in the middle. I think I'll put her down the bottom. Right, now bring in some liquid glue. Take the back off the lace band, and it's fairly easy because one side is not tacky. Now, very carefully, we need to add a little bit of glue along the edge of the lace, and I always like, with this one, I like to put a little blob of glue in there as well. And it doesn't need to be a big amount, just a little bit, just enough to hold it down. Just one little blob. A tiny little blob, not a great big one. Just a little one. And then around the edge, once again, not a lot, because doilies are very thin, and they don't like a lot of glue because otherwise they go a little bit bubbly on your page. Now I want the lace to poke out just a little bit. No, I don't. I've put glue along the edge. So this one is not going to poke out. If I hadn't put glue along here, I could have put it out to there. My mistake, but it's still looking pretty. Now, along this page is where I'm going to put a little thin piece of leftover paper with the thinner tape. Now, I tore this one, or the cutter didn't work right, but I'm going to leave it on there because I rather am attracted to that. Okay, so I'll cut that off there. Move this in here so you can see what I'm doing. Take the tape off. Now, I haven't inked the edges of this book all the way through. I didn't think about that till right now. So this takes place of a ruled margin. It's prettier than a pencil line or a biro line. Now we can put a little word up here as a prompt. Now this came off a sheet of stickers that I received in a paper pack, so I'm going to put this on there too. And it's lovely, the fact that it is lavender. Okay, so now all I want is some words to go around Our Lady. So let's do that. Bring in my big folder of words. And this is Tim Holtz Clippings Stickers. Okay, I've taken the rest of it off because I wanted to. All right, let's see. To the best of her ability. Oh, her eyes were shining. To the best of her ability. It is good we followed the direction of her gaze. What is she gazing at? We could leave it just like that, I think. Now, where was it I found it? To the best of her ability. I've lost the plot. I've lost it. I have actually lost it. I don't know what I'm going to put there. To the best of her ability. What was it? Oh, come on, Ruth. Get with it. I have genuinely lost it. I should have taken them off and used them straight away. This is the long part for me, finding something that is nice to put on there. Okay, let's change this. It is good we followed. It is good we followed. The girl is a loyal soul. Hey, where are you going? Where do you think you're off to? It is good we followed. The girl is a loyal soul. Okay. It was wishful thinking. It is good we followed. The girl is a loyal soul. It is... Oh, no. Oh, I just... Normally this sort of comes together quite quickly for me, but today it's just not happening. No, it's not a nighttime type thing. All right, I might have to leave it because this is taking too long. Yep, it's taking too long, so I don't want to hold you up here while I'm thinking for another 15, 20 minutes. That could be counterproductive. Okay, so that is that page done. I'm going to turn the camera off now and do a few more. And then when I come back, we might make some other embellishments to go in here because I'm not going to have enough stickers to go through the entire book and put one on every colour plate. So we might have to make some other embellishment type things. All right, that's what we'll do. I'll catch up with you in the next episode, folks. Stay calm, keep crafting. Bye-bye.